All right. Everyone, welcome into episode 22 of the Hooley Brothers podcast. Going to keep this one pretty short here. I know we did a little bit of a brief preview the other day, but just we're on, I think we're under 30 minutes. What do we have? Just about 20 minutes. 20 minutes now to first tip off here. Baylor, Houston, followed by Gonzaga and UCLA. So we just wanted to hop on and give a quick little preview. I know we went probably about, about an hour and a half the other night. So this will be kind of the diet version of that, a little bit shorter here. So I guess we'll get right into it. That's kind of the big storyline today, obviously, with the Final Four happening. First game, Baylor versus Houston. Mike, I know we talked about it last time, kind of we think we're headed towards the Gonzaga-Baylor championship matchup, but I don't know. The more I think about it, I think Houston could give them a little bit of a game tonight.
No, I mean, you definitely see they play great defense. They're only lost a couple games this year. I know a couple flukes against like East Carolina and Wichita, but they definitely are a good team. I know they did have a pretty easy path to the Final Four, but just the wings between Jarreau, Sasser, of course, Quentin Grimes, they can definitely make a game out of Baylor. They seem to match up pretty well.
Yeah,
but I just do think they match up well. They're kind of the same team, but Baylor's just the better version of that team.
Right, and something we haven't seen yet anyway out of Houston is, and you can't really blame them because again, when you play on the schedule, right? They haven't faced a single-digit seed yet, which is kind of crazy how that region broke out. They avoided Illinois, they avoided West Virginia, they avoided Oklahoma State. You go down the list, everyone that they didn't have to play. They've only placed double-digit seeds. Oregon State, who was pretty much at the bottom of the Pac-12, but went on a run, is the most recent team they played. Syracuse might be the best team that they've played so far in the tournament, and from an on-paper standpoint, anyway. So definitely untested the last few weeks, and then you look at they're in the American Conference as well. So I think that's kind of the question. But I don't know. It's tough because a little selfishly I'm hoping for a good game tonight. So I don't know if I'm just kind of hopefully optimistic there, but. Yeah, like you said, Houston has good D, and then you wonder if a guy like Grimes and some of the other role players are able to compete. But this Baylor team is just so good, so well rounded.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both are on the same page here. I think this is gonna be a big game from Jared Butler today. It seems like he hasn't really had that standout performance yet in the Final Four. It's been a lot of Mitchell, a lot of Maceo Teague, and I feel like this is the game where he kind of can stand up for himself.
Yeah,
because I think going in, everyone calls him the best player, but you can definitely argue that the best player in the tournament for them has been Mitchell.
I think so. Yeah. I think especially the last few games here. And also apologies everyone if there's a bit of a loud laundry noise at our parents' house right now. Do a little pre-Easter dinner here, so figure it's a good spot for another live show here. But no, Mike, to kind of echo what you said. It really seems like it has been, Mitchell's kind of been the guy at least these last couple of games here, and I agree. I think also expecting a pretty good game out of Jared Butler. A guy who. Seems like he could be in the league next year, especially depending on how things shape up here. But I don't know. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I do see Baylor prevailing. Again, they've been kind of that second best team all year, and kind of like as we mentioned beforehand, we expect this Gonzaga Baylor collision course to happen. As far as the lines go, we're at 5 for the game right now. I did a bit of a teaser, so I wasn't too sure about Gonzaga, which I think got up to about 15 points. So I do think Baylor's going to win. I think it is going to be close. 5 might be where it does end up, but I think we will take Baylor in some capacity tonight.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, I have them just by 1. So if they win the game, then that's good. But again, that's just half the battle. But yeah, I mean, the Final Four is always exciting. It's definitely a weird year because it seems like we are destined for these two teams, whereas in a lot of other years you could see kind of all 4 possible matchups playing out. But again, I think it's most likely headed towards Gonzaga Baylor.
Yeah, and even other years, even looking back, everyone kind of wanted that. I think 2015, everyone wanted Kentucky versus Duke, but then even with the Wisconsin upset, you're like, oh, this is still a good game in its own right.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were 2 seed.
Where even if you have Gonzaga Houston or Baylor UCLA, you're not going to be thinking this isn't the same game, even though
it is going to be a bit of a
even though Houston is a 2 seed, you're not going to think it's going to be the best game, especially because there's no story program that we're going to get. So this has to be shift gears, but the David in all this is UCLA, which is a Goliath program.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of funny if you ever said probably in the mid 90s or something that we have a David versus Goliath matchup in the Final Four. It's Gonzaga versus UCLA. Everyone would put all their money saying that, oh, you mean UCLA, probably the 1 seed going undefeated or going for the undefeated season, this upstart Gonzaga. But yeah, obviously this year the way it played out, Gonzaga the number 1 team in the country all year. and then UCLA having to sneak in through this first four path. Again, we mentioned last time the only other team besides 2011 VCU to get all the way to the Final Four from the first four. So yeah, I agree. It's a little, it's a little underwhelming because I think if we get to this Gonzaga Baylor matchup, I think we think Baylor has a shot. At least I do. But if it ends up being, even though I think the Baylor Houston game tonight will be close, if it ends up being Gonzaga Houston, I don't see them being able to run with Gonzaga.
Yeah, it was. I think I actually have. They did on the book I have gave like already their lines for all the matchups. So I think if it was Gonzaga Baylor, it'd open up at 5, and then if it was Houston Gonzaga with an 8.5, and then if it was UCLA Baylor, it'd be like 10.5. So,
yeah.
So yeah, I think Baylor and Gonzaga will be hanging around. Of course, Gonzaga will be the favorite, but I think as well as Gonzaga's looked, them on a bad night and Baylor on a good night, Baylor can definitely win.
Yeah,
but I think that's the only team in the country that can really do that.
And repeat, I heard you say a few. What did you say the projected Gonzaga Baylor line would be?
5.
5. Yeah, that could be a close one. I could see that going. Even if Gonzaga does win, I can see that being close. But that's the thing too about Gonzaga. Have they won every game by double digits?
They've only lost one game. They only with single digits one game.
Wasn't the BYU championship?
No, it was West Virginia. They hadn't.
Oh, okay.
I think it was back in December. So
okay, but they're a long streak of double-digit wins. But yeah. So again, the first game obviously being Baylor Houston coming up here in just about 15 minutes or 14 minutes. I know we have a weird 5:14 start here. But yeah, Cougars they're looking strong. Again, they have the highest level of competition, so we'll have to see how that translates here versus Baylor.
Even like to add, they kind of snuck in Baylor getting past Rutgers, and they really did show that they were the much better team when they both played Syracuse and Oregon State. So you can't say they kind of sleepwalked their way to the Final Four. They sleepwalked their way to the Sweet 16, but not.
But the red carpet did kind of get laid out for them.
Of course,
just if you beat these two teams that are, either 9 or 10 seeds below you, if you think about it that way. So again, they were able to do that. And then, obviously our picks are Baylor tonight in some sort of capacity. And then going to the late game, I guess we'll kind of talk about that for a sec here. You got to love the story of UCLA. Cause again, they've obviously had a downturn the last few years. I mean, I think they had that high point a few years ago with the Lonzo Ball team that got the like a 3 seed in the tournament, but it's been kind of an uphill battle back. Again, we've seen this emergence of the Pac-12. We talked about it last time. They were able to get one team in, even though they had 3 out of 8.
Oh yeah, because I was looking and I was like, the SEC is doing pretty good with Alabama and Arkansas, and the UCLA and the Pac-12 was doing great. And I was like, at one point there's going to be 10 teams left, 4 from the Pac-12, 2 from the SEC, and 1 across the board. And I thought it was going to be 1 across the board, and those 6 teams were going to be eliminated. But luckily UCLA was able to get that last win for them. But I'd say this is probably the most fun I ever had watching the team. They're a very easy team to root for with Cronin and Juzang, Jaquez, Campbell. I know we've talked about it ad nauseum, but I just really like this team. So even though I really think that Gonzaga is the much better team and should mop the floors with them, for pride and the fact that I'm perfect betting on them so far to take UCLA plus 15. So I want a good game for them.
This is why I kind of did the teaser. It was really more on the Baylor Houston half because I want to be able to root for a really good game that comes down to the wire. Baylor maybe hits a buzzer beater late or a missed shot from Houston, but also the Gonzaga line was a little too high, and I've kind of learned my lesson to not bet against them. I've done it a couple times. I took USC to cover last week. That did not happen. I really thought the Trojans were going to be able to give.
I think we all fooled ourselves there. just to watch
a good
game.
It's not like they beat Kansas or they just beat they embarrassed both those teams.
Especially how Oregon was coming off of
Iowa. Scored 95 points on Iowa, which I know they don't have the strongest defense in the world, but so that was a little surprising. So Gonzaga, I'm like, let's just move it a little bit. I think both these teams are going to win. I'll have Houston. Baylor pretty much just at a -1. So like I said, if they win the game, we're all set. But Gonzaga. What else can you say about them? They're stacked all across the board, and just any guy. We've said it before. I wouldn't be surprised if Kispert goes off one of these games because he's looked fine in the tournament, but he hasn't really gone off at least from 3-point land.
Yeah, they haven't needed him, so
which is insane. That again, they've won every game by double digits here in the tournament. They haven't needed a first-team All-America player in Cody Kispert, but because they have another one, and Jalen Suggs obviously, and then Timmy's been cleaning up on the boards here, and just even guys like Ayayi, just all across the board, they have stacked team from top to bottom here. So again, a part of me, again, the person placing the wagers here is obviously going to be rooting for oh, the person singing the anthem was Lauren Hall. Mike, that was Lauren Hill for a sec. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, again, obviously the person who made the picks and me is going to hope for a double-digit Gonzaga win, but it would be nice to, on the other front, to see a close matchup here from UCLA. But again, I've learned my lesson with Gonzaga. They've just been absolutely demolishing anyone that comes in their way. So again, hottest team. We say that they even joke about it on some podcasts we listen to, but it's like it's crazy to think that like you're talking about other teams as being the hottest teams. Gonzaga literally has not lost a game. They're on a almost 30 game win streak or whatever it is. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a pretty sound victory, but Mike's taking the UCLA boys to cover.
I mean,
15.
I was going to say a 14-point game could be a sound victory. I'm just hoping.
I'm fine with that.
I'm just hoping they at least like can muck it up a little bit. Like some poor shooting. They're the best free throw defense in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, those are our picks there. I think, we're headed towards that Gonzaga Baylor final. We'll obviously see down the line here, but again, not too much to go in here, and that's why we, this is going to be a bit of a shorter edition here. I think we're pretty honed in on this right now. Again, Celtics, I don't even want to talk about right now. NBA's in a bit of a weird space with everyone injured.
Yeah, they won last night. Hit their 17 threes.
And versus the Rockets.
Yeah, took care of the Rockets. Jalen had a cool dunk.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm a bit out on them now, but
I guess Isaiah Thomas signed with the Pelicans,
yeah, that's true. That is true. I'm glad to see IDC back in the league and everything. But but quickly, just to kind of wrap up on the college basketball portion, we haven't talked about the two games here tonight, but we've had a bit of the coaching carousel here in the college ranks. So we talked about last time Mike Woodson to Indiana, but we've seen a bit more of a shuffling going around. So we talked about also Shaka Smart might have been maybe on his way to losing a job anyway. So he just kind of, they made one move and went to Marquette. So that opened up the Texas job. And Chris Beard from Texas Tech, 2 years removed now from a national championship appearance with Texas Tech, moves to Texas. It's one of those moves where you're like, well, is that a much better program? But, all the money that comes with it and just the prestige of Texas, it makes sense.
I think he used to be an assistant there back in the day. So it seems like it was his dream job. So even if he was at his secondary dream job, he would always should go for the one he wanted more. And it always stinks to hear. Like, I think they have since fixed this transfer rule, but I feel bad for the people that he recruited to play for Coach.
But I mean, that's always going to be something that happens because as much as the players, have to do what's best for their career, the coaches do as well. If you see this dream job, and I'm sure he's going to be getting paid a fair amount of money and everything, whatever's best for him and his family, you got to do. But yeah, so also in other news, and we were kind of talking about this a little bit before. So I think people thought, Porter Moser could be on the move. 2 long runs for Loyola Chicago, one in 2018, and then obviously this year as well, back to the Sweet 16. So he's taking a job in Oklahoma after Lon Kruger retired and stepped down there. And I don't know, Mike, I mean, I found it a little interesting because I would think, no slight on Oklahoma basketball here, but I would have thought Indiana would have been a better job. I don't know if they weren't in on him or what the deal was there. And also no slight on Mike Woodson, but I would have thought Porter Moser to Indiana would have had a little bit more steam.
Well, I guess it's just like some people these days, like if you look at Oklahoma basketball, kids that are coming in, you look at Oklahoma and you see Griffin, you think Buddy Hield. Like, that's
a good point.
So like no one really cares about Bobby Knight in the 80s. So
right. Because they've only had the Cody Zeller, Victor Oladipo team in the early
Romeo Langford. That team did terrible. Like he was pretty injury prone, but he was like the first
the Watford shots. Their big moment the last 10 years, and that was just a regular season game against Kentucky.
So I wouldn't be shocked if more people want to go to Oklahoma, even just having a campus with a nice football team too. So seems like it might be the better job on paper.
No, it makes sense. It's just you think about these jobs like they're in these historic programs,
Blue Bloods.
The Blue Bloods. So it ends up being Porter Moser on his way to Oklahoma. So we have a whole new coaching matchup in the basketball version of the Red River rivalry. So Chris Beard and Porter Moser.
I like that.
Yeah, no, it should be good. Well, obviously, there'll be a new coach at Loyola. See if they can have similar success up there. But the biggest news of the week in the whole coaching carousel is in North Carolina. So Roy Williams also stepping down, retiring after a lengthy career. I think he definitely gets slept on a lot in the it's crazy to think of, like, oh yeah, he's 3 national championships. And if you think about it, I'm like, part of me is like, wait, what happened in 2013? Because he was on this 4-year track. You know, he won in 05. That class leaves. 09, another championship. Then 2017, 8 years later. So it's like, it's funny, like they, you know, except for a brief gap there, that obviously didn't quite work out this year there, but he was almost doing that for, you know, a few cycles there where he kind of got in a new freshman class after a national championship and then 4 years later found himself back there again. So, you know, he has 3, and it's a very specific, you know, time window, but it's almost like, oh, since he took the job in North Carolina, that's more championships than Coach K.
Yeah, I mean, you can't even say it's not like a specific window. He was there for 18 years.
No, but I'm saying like Coach K is more than him, but I'm saying if you start the timeline at him taking over in 2003, 2004, he has more championships than Coach K in that time frame.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's really something because even he was in the championship game and lost to Syracuse his last game at Kansas. So also career, 15 years there, 18 at North Carolina. So and I think they were saying like you said, it was every 4 years he would win, and now like the college basketball is a lot of one and done, so I think it would have been tough for him. So that on top of maybe
because he's
maybe doing a full year of being removed from his family, he's 70, his grandkids seems like it was probably just like, is this worth it for me anymore?
Yeah, and he's had some guys do that, but like if you really think back, like not
there's like championship teams for a lot of like maybe like sophomores that left like.
No, because even someone who was supposed to do that ended up Harrison Barnes. He was going to be one of those guys. He was, I think, a preseason All-American as a freshman, which I think at the time was like groundbreaking. But he ended up staying a second year. I can't think of anyone in recent memory. I guess Cole Anthony just did it, but
that didn't stunk though.
Yeah, no. So it's he definitely.
And the reason why they're halfway decent is that they returned everyone from that team this year.
Right.
And they peaked at an 8 seed.
So he definitely didn't quite adapt as well as others. At least he wasn't hypocritical though. I'm pretty sure Coach K was very staunchly against that and then just started doing it. Yeah. So, but
gotta give him credit though for his age. He had a lot of swag with the jackets, the shoes, the memes.
The best was the joke on PMT yesterday where they were talking like, what if it was just an April Fool's joke and he just comes out onto his press conference at that like the little dance like he did in the locker room. No, Roy's great. It's you know, I think especially if you're like a Duke hater, he was almost like the opposition to that. Yeah. So I think it was easy to root for him.
That's what I feel like. I picked. Of course, I hated Duke as a kid. He was like, I knew to hate Duke, and it was like, oh no, like I kind of like this North Carolina team. They're fun with like Sean May, and then even like I wasn't a big Hansborough guy, but like everyone else in that 09 team, like Danny Green, Wayne Ellington, like that was a pretty fun team. So.
If you even go back to 05, like Ray felt Luke May, or not Luke May, Sean May. Luke May was on the later team, but absolutely. I'm just like now I'm like thinking about these guys too. Yeah, there's just really good squad, and that's something too. I've always thought about it too. Like I know everyone kind of has their own fit, but I was like thinking, I'm like if I was 18 and I was like the number 1 recruit, I think I'd go to North Carolina. It'd be that or UCLA. I think those would be my top 2 if I could go anywhere I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean UCLA would be cool with California, but I guess like maybe just the whole like
the uniforms at North Carolina, the Michael Jordan.
I was gonna say even just the Jordan effect. Like, maybe meet Michael Jordan at the very least, just get nothing but Jordan apparel. Like,
absolutely.
And if you're planning on being a one and done, like to shoe in with like a Jordan deal after.
So. Exactly. So, but that job's open and. I don't know. I could see this going a number of ways. It happens, later in the cycle. So I don't know if we're going to see a big name move. We've had some talk about, kind of promotion from in. Could we see Hubert Davis, who was great on ESPN? I know he's never had head coaching experience. So it's a little crazy because even guys that you see, partner with, a coach like that. I mean, we kind of saw with Juwan Howard, who had assistant NBA coaching experience. Now he's taking the job at Michigan. But I feel like I'm thinking of like a Jeff Capel, like I could see him coming back to Duke. We've seen that before where maybe you're at like your prestige alma mater, but then you get a head coaching job at a smaller school and then eventually return. So that, again, such a historic program. Will they go with an assistant coach like Hubert Davis? I don't know. Wes Miller is the other one.
Yeah, from Greensboro.
Yeah,
but fire them if you want to do like a splash. I mean,
Brad Stevens.
he's a asshole now.
Right.
But so there's 2 names. One's a really long shot that I like the most. They're saying Sheed.
Ooh, yeah.
High school coach.
Yeah.
But the one that I think could happen, because he has a job in the Power 5 conference, Stackhouse. Jerry Stackhouse.
Yeah, the buzzer.
Yeah.
So we're done here. I think
UNC alum coaches at Vanderbilt.
Well, I was thinking him too. How's he done there? I haven't really tracked them. Like, I think, is there progress happening?
I mean, they have Scottie Pippen Jr. there, so like there's some sort of like progress there. Like he's kind of like doing some.
Yeah, we got all the laundry tunes going right now. It's actually fantastic. that should be it now. Both things went up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I was thinking that too with Stackhouse, like his experience, but it's almost like, is that almost a bad thing? Like, has he done a good enough job at Vanderbilt?
Yeah,
but that's another.
But again, that's like when you're recruiting to Vanderbilt, you're recruiting because I'm Jerry Stackhouse. But you're like, I'm Jerry Stackhouse, and this is North Carolina.
That's true too. Yeah,
the talent should go there.
And if Vanderbilt's anything like, I know like BC has this problem with recruiting. It's like, are your academic standards a little too high?
Yeah.
So
whereas like LSU, you don't care.
Yeah, but we'll see. That's probably one of the biggest jobs to hit the market in the last few years. Probably like what, since Mick Cronin got the UCLA job, because obviously you think about Duke's had Krzyzewski forever, and Kansas was Bill Self just signed the lifetime contract, if you will. Calipari has the same deal with Kentucky. So
that was a nice stat.
What was that?
We're stepping off here in the first game. This is the third matchup of in-state rivals
in the Final Four. Was one Duke UNC? I missed it.
No, it was.
Tell me the years.
The first one was 1954. It was Penn State versus LaSalle.
Yeah.
And then the last one was 2012.
Oh, Kentucky Louisville.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so we're about to tip off here in the Final Four.
Flo Thamba wins it.
Baylor wins it. What is it?
Flo Thamba.
I cannot believe that's a real name. It literally sounds like a knockoff Mobamba. But yeah, so we wanted to quickly hit on the coaching carousel there, where everyone ended up. Obviously, UNC the big job out there. Now we'll see who fills in there. But yeah, that'll probably do it as far as the again the college basketball ring with the Final Four here. We'll have a recap show Tuesday after all Final Four games. The two semifinals tonight, and then the championship on Monday. Depending on how things shape out, I might have a special surprise for. Good time to plug the YouTube, because there could be something. I'm sitting a little something for post if the tournament breaks out a certain way.
Okay.
So I'll even keep you in the dark, Mike. But just something small that I think would be kind of funny. But anyway, then we can briefly hit on so we had opening day. I mean, a lot of craziness happening here under the basket for Baylor. Shot clock violation?
Yeah, Butler got a shot blocked.
Yeah,
we got to wrap up because we're paying way too much attention to this.
We are, we're going to get too distracted. But yeah, quickly, MLB again. Opening day was Thursday. The Sox got rained out.
Yeah,
I actually didn't hate the decision, because I just woke up that day and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. And then I came on the Friday and I was ready to go. I'm already disappointed.
Yeah, I
don't know if you saw me tweet out the Dewey thing from Malcolm in the Middle. Just like, I expect nothing and I'm already disappointed. This team, oh my God. I was actually excited for a little bit.
Yeah,
I was like, we got X back. Devers, JD obviously in the middle of that lineup. I want to see what Kike can do. Verdugo, I've grown a lot on throw.
It's bombs. He's fine.
Yeah, I didn't doll back out of the nice spot, but
a lot of strikeouts in this lineup.
I already have to complain about we pulled Uvalde too early yesterday.
I couldn't really watch that game yesterday, but
I had it on the side, wrapping up the workday at home. But yeah, he had five and a third, I think, at 89 pitches they pulled, and that's where the Orioles scored their run. So notification came in again. But well, obviously we're just announcing the game at this point. But I mean, not too many takeaways, I think. I mean, it's way too early to tell.
Yeah,
a lot of teams played one or two games.
So. Gotta get the offense going. The Royals have their offense going. They scored, I think, 25 runs in the first 17 innings.
But do they have Franchi Cordero? Not anymore. I'll tell you that much.
But they have Michael Taylor, who's 4 Nats and bombs over there.
Oh, he's in case.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep an eye. Obviously, good to have baseball back. I wish I was rooting for another team right now, but
bandwagon the Dodgers. Bauer had 6 no-hit innings yesterday. Then he almost blew it, like a 10-run lead. David Price came in, gave up 2 bombs in his debut.
Why is Price out of the bullpen?
I think they're trying to just get
stretch
stamina back out. Yeah.
Because nothing makes sense in pitching anymore.
Because they'll probably start Gonsolin again, and you'll only pitch 4 innings. So it's
these weird openers. But I don't know. But
you can be patient when you have Kershaw, Buehler, and Bauer.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, we just want to hit on a few things here, and we'll obviously keep an eye on MLB and everything. But yeah, next week should be interesting though, because we'll have to do a combo deal for our next episode.
Either that or back-to-back nights of doing a recap and then a Masters preview.
So either one long one or 2 short ones. Of Final Four recap, and like Mike said, a little bit of a Masters preview. Might have some additional guests on for that one. So we'll keep an eye on everything here. We're about to dig into the Final Four here. Quick 6-3 lead for Baylor. So about to kick back, relax, enjoy these 2 games, and we'll be back on Tuesday night.
Yeah. Also, last thing too, big upset on the women's side last night. Arizona upset
UConn went down.
Yeah, so
very surprising. I thought if anything, the other game was actually close too.
Yeah, it was a nice clutch win from Stanford. So just when we thought the Pac-12 couldn't dominate anymore,
Yeah.
Arizona, Stanford in the
Yeah.
women's side.
We're gonna Pac-12 champion.
I mean, yeah. So I'm
Also-
gonna pull for
also-
Stanford there. So
Also, one thing, not to get too serious, but prayers up DMX. He's in some rough shape right
I did
now.
not know that. No.
Yeah, bit of a I think there was a drug overdose or something along
Mhm.
those lines. So prayers up. X is a legend, obviously, in the game. So hoping the best for him, and hopefully he's able to come back. I know a lot of people have sent their well wishes out via Twitter, so I wanted to also mention that there. But yeah, so yeah, wrapping up here, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.
See you guys later.